Calculus, Unit 7, Day 62, Part 4. Now, at what order pair other than 0, 3 does the graph of line L intersect with the graph of f of x? So they are now looking for the only other point of intersection, which is going to be right here. Okay, and this is going to help us because we're going to eventually, if you look at the next question, find the area of region S. So I got to find from 0 to what point. Let's call that B for right now. So um, let's go find that value. And again, like I said, down bottom, find the area of region S. So we're going to need to know that for that reason as well. So I put in my negative 1/2 x plus 3. Let's graph it. Okay, so I'm trying to find the intersection between these two lines. So we're going to second calculate. Calculate the intersection, choice 5. First curve, shore in blue. Second curve, yes, in red. Take a guess. Oh, wait, I did the wrong one. Second calc, I hit enter twice. Intersection 5. First curve, yes. Second curve, yes. Now, before I guess, I want to get closer to over here. Doesn't have to be right on it. So x is going to be equal to 3.3898677. And there's my y value. So let me come back and write that down on the notes. So again, there's the point where it intersects the graph. And now to find the area of region S, it's going to be area of region S is the integral from 0 to b, which is just right up there, of the line, because that's always on top, so negative 1/2 x minus 3. Sorry, it's negative 1/2 x plus 3. And then minus the function that's always on the bottom, f of x. So on our calculator, this is always y2, and this is always y1. So I'm going to get the calculator, and let's go through and use the calculator to solve this. And again, I'll have to put in this b value into the calculator. So let's go to the home screen. Second quit. So now I want to do the math button. I want to do choice 9. And I'm going to go from 0 to, and I have to use my 3.38986. Oh, wait, I got an error. I skipped too far ahead. Sorry about that. I wasn't reading that. Let's try it again. So from 0 to 3.3898677. Great. And now I'm going to do y2 vars over to y vars function. I'm going to go down to y2. That's the line. And I'm going to subtract y1 vars y vars function y1, all with respect to x. And so again, we leave the decimals here because it has to carry, but in our final answer, we can just round to 3 decimal places, so 6.982, because obviously the 4th decimal place is 9. So when we get to the AP exam, anytime we have anything we have to write out in decimal, we go to 3 decimal places. So this was equal to 6.982. Okay, let's go to the last page here. Okay, so this next function, picture to the right, are regions R and S, which are formed by the graphs of f of x and g of x. So I have f of x here in green. They didn't give you that. You would have probably had to graph it in g of x here. So identify the points of intersection of f of x and g of x, and hopefully we see that there's 2 points. And we're going to use our calculator to solve these in a second. So we're going to find right there and right there. So let's go and do that on the calculator. So I have my 2 functions in here, and now when I graph them, and I change the window to 0 to 1.5 on both functions, and it looks pretty close to what's in the graph. So now let's find the intersection. Second calculate, choice 5. I only have 2 curves on here, so first curve, second curve. Let's go over and guess that one first. So 1 and 0.25, that's great. And now let's do second calculate, do the same thing. Intersection, first curve, second curve. And as I'm trying to find, I'm going to have to find some regions, the area of the regions. We notice here on my graph that from 0 to whatever this point is, the red function is on top, which is g of x. But then from this intersection to the other intersection, the blue function, f of x, is on top, so that makes a difference. Okay, so what's our guess? And a lot of decimal points. So let's go back and write those down. Okay, so I'm going to let you practice these on the calculator just like we did in the previous section. The key is just identifying which part goes where. So we have our 2 points. And now find the area of region R. So it's the red function, g of x on top, minus f of x on the bottom. And it's from 0 to a. So there's point 0 where it begins, all the way to a, that first intersection point, which we're dealing with the x value. So that is the 0.17821.805. And when we do that, we get a value of 0.065. So hopefully you can do that. And again, you can do it on the home screen. I think that's probably the easiest for these. And then from here, it's now the integral from a to 1, so the same point, the x value, which is 0.17821.805, all the way over to 1, y1, because that was the x coordinate over here. So that one was a little bit easier. And now the green function, or f of x, is on top, so it's f of x minus g of x. And our answer to 3 decimal places is 0.410. Okay, so go to your home screen, hit the math button, hit choice 9, take the integral, and then you're going to end up doing, depending on where you are, this one's g of x minus f of x, so it's y2 minus y1 from 0 to that a value, and then this one is that a value to 1 of y1 minus y2. Okay? All right, the last question, find the area of the unshaded region bounded by the graphs of f, g, and the x-axis. So, a couple things here. So I'm going to use just a black marker to define those. So this is going to go from 0 to that a value. Let's do that. These areas are going to be the integral from 0 to a of what's the closest one there? That's the green. That's f of x. So f of x dx. And then we're going to add to that from a to b, which is 1. I'll call it b. And let's write up here b equals 1. We know what a equals. Okay, and in this one, the red graph, or g of x, is the closest graph. And now g of x dx. And we're going to go next, we're going to go all the way to the ending, which we don't know what that point is right there, but we know it's going to be, so it's going to be from b to some value. We got to figure out what that value is, but it's a green graph, so it's going back to being f of x dx. So I got to find that point, put it in, and then we can find that answer. Okay, so what I did is I came back into my window and I just made the y value a little bit lower, so the graph would have to go through, and I'm trying to find, on the other graph it's green, but on this it's blue. I got to find that point right there, and that was my first function. What's this f of x? So let's just finish graphing. Use my mouse here. Second, calculate the 0. Left bound, sure. And then I can just go all the way to the right. And let's get a guess. And so that's the number I'm looking for that last one. And let's write that down, and then let's find that answer. So it was 1.0804306. So the B is the 1. The A was what we had up here from before. So those were all searches we got from our calculator, just finding intersections. So those weren't that bad. And then I go to a home screen and I just do the 3 different integrals and given the 2 functions and where they go. So in the final answer, and I'm not gonna go through and do that, but you should hopefully get for the final answer 3 decimal places 0.486. Okay? So hopefully you give those a shot, give day 62 homework a shot, and we'll see how we did on it.